Good morning and welcome to Spotlight. I'm Dan Dunn. Today we continue our conversation with the Executive Director of Lamplighter Ministries, Mark Hamby. Here it is, down the road for you. After how many years? 30 years? You've been doing this work, and now you're coming to a new season. Tell us about that.
This is the most exciting part of the ministry right now. So we started in 2010. We started something called the Lamplighter Guild, and then that's where we take 100 students from around the world. We bring the best teachers of the world, the best in dramatic arts, in visual arts, in culinary, biblical theology, in music, photography, filmmaking, and we bring all of these teachers together. They've got to be the best of the best of the best. We've had Michael Card, Sarah Grove, Buddy Green. We bring in Dr. Warren Gage, just everybody, the Odyssey team, now the Lamplighter Theater team is there teaching. We had Bob Garner from Disney was teaching last year filmmaking. And so I looked at this and I said, you know what? This is now ready to be a school, full-time, 9 months a year. And so 3 years ago, we were in Pennsylvania for 27 years, and I said, I think God is ready to move us to the next level. And we came here to Mount Morris, New York. We bought this 19th century, 1853 classic Gothic church building, offices next door. We got 50 acres in the center of the village, and we've transformed this church into a huge exploratorium that you hear with Finney and Jones on Lamplighter Theater. We've got a recording studio in there now. We've got our own printing and bindery operation in there. We have interns. And our next step now is to actually start a full-time school of the creative arts, business strategies and entrepreneurial leadership, biblical theology, and Christian worldview. And we are right now touring, learning as much as we can about how to start this school. I've been researching it for the last 20 years, and right now finishing my doctoral dissertation on this exact same subject of what is the key ingredient, the core subject material for a school that will prepare children to really serve God.
I was reading something the other day that talked about how our worldviews and our narrative on life are formed. This author made this point, said through the arts, whether it be music, writing, through that really is the core of how our worldview and our narrative on life is formed. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think that's secondary, actually. I think the real worldview is formed by the Word of God. Jesus comes on the scene, and what does he say? Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word. He confirms that. And so I think in Judges chapter 1, it says there's a whole new generation that knew not the Lord, neither the things of the Lord. And so as I read the Scriptures, one of the most important books of the Bible is the book of Ecclesiastes in the Hebrew. And he says this. At the very end, he says, I have given you acceptable words, delightful words that are words of truth, given by wise men who have given you these words of truth so that they are goads in life, fastened like nails. And now, Dan, this is the key. Your listeners have to listen to this. I believe that God has given us something significant here. Now listen to this. Words of truth and words of wisdom are the key to Ecclesiastes. They act as goads. Goads are what keep us in line. They keep us in the right direction. And then he says they need to be fastened like nails. Unless the Word of God literally is fastened like nails in our lives, it's not going to do us any good. It has to be fastened like nails. Our convictions need to get to the point where we live and die for these truths.
You've been listening to Spotlight, a public affairs program of the Mars Hill Network. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the Mars Hill Network staff, management, or board of directors. Inquiries and suggestions are welcome. Email spotlight@marshillnetwork.org or mail to Spotlight in care of the Mars Hill Network, 4044 Mackayes Road. That's Makyes Road, Syracuse, New York, 13215.